What exactly would happen if blue states stopped funding red states? Now, before you run to the comments and get all in your feelings, I'm simply presenting an idea because the facts show this. California pays $83 billion more in federal taxes than they need to. New York pays $89 billion more, and New Jersey pays $70 billion more. So a lot of blue states are paying more than their fair share in taxes, which then gets trickled down to the rest of the country. So what exactly would happen if blue states stopped paying more and just kept it to themselves? Well, we're going to go through 3 pros and 3 cons of that exact scenario. But if you're new to this page, my name's Rick. I help you turn daily news into daily profits. The first big advantage that blue states would see would be more money for local priorities, things like energy, things like infrastructure and roads, and things like education systems. So tens of billions of dollars would go to local communities that may need that money to improve their education or energy grids. Next, residents of those blue states that are subsidizing the red states would see a decrease in their taxes because obviously we're not going to need to pay for other support systems for other states. Rather, we're just going to keep it in-house. And residents in those states would see a decrease in their state taxes and an increase in their local infrastructure. And the last major advantage is that these states would have faster progress toward their progressive agendas. So we'd see more funding into things like climate change policies, education reform, and even universal health care without having to worry about backlash from the federal government. Now, all 3 of those things seem great on the surface, but let's talk about the negative impacts that this would have. The first big negative that we would see is the impact it would have on national defense. Many military bases and defense contracts are located in red states. So if you take funding away, that's going to have a direct impact on national defense security. Next, you would almost certainly see an economic collapse in some form. If red states collapse, so does agriculture, energy, and supply chains in a lot of cases. And that naturally would have a huge impact on all the blue states as well. And I don't want to talk about what the stock market would look like in a case like that. And lastly, you'd have a total breakdown of the legal and constitutional law. The U.S. Constitution gives the ability for Congress to tax and spend states' money. So if states chose not to pay, they would be going against the Constitution. And this would trigger Supreme Court battles, federal intervention, and civil unrest. So what exactly would happen if blue states stopped funding red states? Well, I don't think we want to know what would happen.